Good day to everybody. We ask for your attention to an introduction to AnySys and AnyTester. There are a lot of tools that aids IT companies designing, executing and monitoring tests on one system. But most systems don't live insulated or alone. Systems usually belong to an ecosystem where several systems interact between each other. Saying it another way, if you want to have an effective test on one system, you must consider all the interactions that system must work with. So, you must consider the system's ecosystem. But there's the need to counter the difficulties that arise as the number of systems grows. Thereby, as the number of systems rises, there's an exponential growth of the difficulty to execute and control regression tests. The difficulty to align schedules between systems and their teams. The difficulty to align data between the environments of the several systems, considering that alignment is possible. The difficulty to align the environments of the involved systems, considering that there's a correspondence between those environments. The difficulty to execute valid unit testing, considering the multiplicity and variety of the systems interacting. This issue, which was a factor on several past projects we worked on, made us look for a tool that would allow us to consider the ecosystem's existence. Since we didn't find a tool that answered our needs, we opted to implement and to present AnyTester. AnyTester allows for the design, the execution and the monitoring of automated test cases, considering the ecosystem that best applies to the test goal. So, AnyTester is a virtual user for the testing systems. AnySys. AnySys allows for the configuration and simulation of any answer that a use case needs to complete a correct execution test run, accordingly with the selected ecosystem. So, AnySys is a set of virtual systems. So, how do AnySys and AnyTester adds value to your organization? AnySys and AnyTester effectively reduce the cost you have with quality assurance and development. AnySys and AnyTester are powerful tools that help you get a much better software quality while you rationalize your resources. With AnySys and AnyTester you are able to automate your regression tests considering the proper ecosystem. Using AnySys and AnyTester allows you to get rid of schedule, data and environment misalignments. Using AnySys and AnyTester gives you the ability to automate your unit and integration tests right from the beginning of the project. Let's see how AnyTester and AnySys work together to fulfill the test's execution needs. AnyTester launches automated tests against the system or systems on test. AnySys, when asked for, simulates systems after the test initiation done by AnyTester. Let's look at a possible scenario. A user requests something over a browser and the request fulfillment involves several systems. The user, at his usual workplace, opens a new request on System in 1, through a web page that this system provides. System in 1 proceeds with the requested fulfillment and, at a certain moment, verifies the need to invoke an operation provided by the System out 1. System out 1 executes the requested operation and returns success to System in 1. System in 1 determines the need to address the request to System in 2. In sequence, System in 2 request an action to System out 2. followed by an invocation of another action to systemout3. Finally, systemin2 returns the result of the request began by the user. All of this is done very quickly, at a glance. Let's consider the following hypothesis. Systems in1 and in2 are being tested. The quality assurance team doesn't have access to systems out1, out2 and out3. System out1 responsible team doesn't have the resources to support new tests. System out2 doesn't have a way to assure data is compatible with the tests needed. And system out3 doesn't have a test environment. Therefore, we have an ecosystem where we are testing systems in1 and in2 and simulating systems out1, out2 and out3. Thus, any tester replaces the user. It opens systemin1's web page and automatically requests the same request that the user usually does manually. Next, systemin1 requests systemout1 intervention that, accordingly with the defined ecosystem, will be simulated by AnySys. After the AnySys simulation, systemin1 addresses the request to systemin2. Systemin2 asks for the intervention of systems out2 and out3, in sequence. These interventions, according with the defined ecosystem, will be done by AnySys simulations. At the end of the process, systemin2 will send back the result for the initial request. This result will be captured by any tester. With the arrival of the result, any tester finishes the running test case. Reinforcing what was said previously, any tester simulates users, AnySys simulates systems. Now, we present some of the major features of any tester. Any tester allows for the definition of test cases based on business language and supports the ecosystem. Any tester follows the policy of a reduced maintenance over the test case lifecycle. Any tester allows for an early build-up of tests. You can start before the development. Any tester provides extensive reports on the running tests. Here are some of the major features of AnySys. All AnySys configurations are based on the ecosystem. AnySys provides a graphic mapping tool. The expert mode configuration helps the AnySys users map the expected outputs. AnySys has a powerful tool to import real messages from the systems you want to test or simulate. Now, let's follow 4 possible applications of AnySys and AnyTester. The first application considers regression tests automation using an ecosystem. AnyTester launches automated tests against the testing system, alpha. AnySys isolates the testing system, simulating systems that are set to be simulated on the ecosystem, beta, gamma, delta, and zeta. The second application considers AnyTester and AnySys usage supporting development, unit testing, integration testing, and user acceptance testing. Dev team, the team responsible for alpha system development, uses AnySys to simulate systems beta, gamma, and delta. Since zeta system is being developed at the same time by another team, AnySys also provides to alpha the future expected results from zeta. Once zeta system delivers its operations, the dev team uses AnySys to address those operations to zeta instead of simulating them. The quality assurance team uses AnyTester to run unit tests that they have designed previously. This team could also use AnyTester and AnySys on the integration testing and user acceptance testing. On these sceneries, AnySys replaces systems that, by any set of circumstances, don't have a proper environment, don't have human or other resources available, or don't have the needed data to accomplish the defined use cases. The third application uses AnySys to test an already published web service. AnySys is set to work with the web service on its ordinary use. AnySys can be set to have an alternative use of the web service. This can be done to check the viability of using other values on already used parameters. AnySys can be set to test the extension of the use of the web service. This can be done to extend the scope of the web service's use, be it by using new parameters or new operations, not used before by the team. It's important to note that the results of these experiments can be used afterwards when using AnySys and AnyTester on the two applications described previously. The fourth application uses AnySys to isolate a system under load testing. Load testing validates the limits for the targeted system examinatus. If the examinator's system isn't isolated, it could be impossible to really know who is responsible for a fault that happens while running load tests. It could be the consequence of another system problem. So, we can set one or more instances of AnySys to isolate examinatus. We are grateful for your time and attention. Thank you very much.